ねえねえ中田君、リンダ・ミルスがニューヨーク大学の校長になった件知ってる？当たり前だろ。私とても嬉しいっす。それはフェミニズムの勝利だと思う。いや僕はそう思わないけど。なぜ？教えて教えて。いや原因はいろいろで。おい、教えてよ。お願いだから。
New York University, Dr. Linda G. Mills becomes the first female president in the school's 192-year history. Dr. Mills was inaugurated this afternoon. She's been at NYU since 1999, most recently as vice chancellor and senior vice provost for global programs and university life.
Humbled, deeply moved, I stand here today prepared to take up this mantle and this challenge. At NYU, our tradition is the future. Unlike other universities steeped in their histories, NYU has always looked forward. What next? What more? Where beyond?
Linda Mills is incredible. I had the chance as a student leader to work with her personally. She really cares about the university and just kind of our future.
Institutions talk about bringing changes, feminist changes obviously, but very few actually enact them. So I am happy that NYU did something about it.
There were more than 100 candidates that were considered by a dedicated committee. Mills was the unanimous choice.
I hope that we have a chance to all come together and ask the question, what does leadership look like? Does it change under, an administration that's run
Prior to coming to NYU, from 1994 to 1998, she was a lecturer at the School of Law. She was in a similar position with the current contract and adjunct faculty of NYU, who, as you can see here, is having a demonstration right outside of the Paulson Center, where Mills' inauguration ceremony is taking place.
I mean, we're not clear about what Linda Mills is going to do or how. She's not historically been a supporter of unions. She's been pretty anti-labor, but we'll see. Maybe she'll have a epiphany.
When her administration began in 2023, the contract faculty was still in an effort to unionize.
Everybody, what's up? My name is Elizabeth. I'm a clinical associate professor at FAS. I teach writing the essay, so I'm sorry. Anyway, I'm here nonetheless today appealing to your sympathies on behalf of my union, Contract Faculty United. So let's get right to it. What is a contract faculty? Does anybody know contract faculty? We are working to secure our jobs by unionizing, and this has been kind of a long road. We started organizing with our colleagues in 2017. By 2020, a majority of us had signed up to form our union. And last year, in 2023, we really took our campaign public. We delivered our petition publicly to Andy Hamilton on the 12th floor of Phobes. We had a series of rallies. NYU undergrads turned out to support us in huge numbers, and that had such an impact. I really want to stress this. I can't stress this enough. I think the progress that we've been able to make is in many ways down to the support that we've been able to rely on from the undergrad community. So thank you. We still have a long
1970, most faculty who taught in universities had tenure. So what's changed over the past 50 years is that universities have created fewer and fewer tenured positions. So most faculty today are in a job like mine, which is full-time, but which is not protected by tenure and currently not protected by a union contract. But many, many more faculty are part-time. Here at NYU, adjuncts are represented by Act UAW 7902. Postdocs and teaching fellows and graduate teaching assistants and visiting faculty, there's a whole universe of insecure faculty jobs.
Which is why we are here today. We are here today to stand with GSOC.
We just showed you a post from some adjunct faculty. After a baseline wage increase won by the adjunct union in a threat to strike last year, NYU cancelled a lot of the courses taught by adjuncts without noticing. Presumably, the management of NYU act as such out of the financial interests of their own, as well as that of the Board of Trustees.
And again, this is not a problem that I think Linda Mills, with all the good intentions in the world, is capable of solving. The good news, though, is that the NYU administration is not NYU. We are NYU, students, staff, and faculty. Yeah.
According to data found online, Linda Mills makes more than $600,000 a year, and the President of the U.S. makes about $400,000 a year. On the other hand, the adjunct faculty's minimum pay before the strike was $6,000 for a 4-credit course. In a simple calculation, if people are really paid for how much value they created, we will get a result that Linda Mills is creating a value that is as great as the sum total grossly of teaching 109 4-credit courses.
皆さん、ただ一つの人間はそんなにでかい量の価値を想像することがありますか？答えはただ一つ。そんな可能性がもともとないです。ブルジョアたちは私たちから想像した価値を奪いし、私たち騙して続けてる。ブルジョアを打ち倒せ。私たちの労働果実を取り返せ。
Hello.
Welcome.
Welcome to NYU Abu Dhabi.
Nonetheless, NYU pushed ahead to create a global network that would build upon our existing international infrastructure. With our government partners in the United Arab Emirates, we envisioned a new university, one that would include promising young minds from around the world who wouldn't otherwise have the opportunity to learn from professors blazing trails into the future.
I've been a lifelong critic of the Global Network University, again, because one of the things that we haven't addressed in labor is the way in which labor operates abroad, under the banner of NYU, but not under the jurisdiction of the U.S. state. For example, there was slave labor that built the Abu Dhabi campus, and when we exposed that, NYU had a lot of reparations to do. There's been a number of issues with the Shanghai campus and so on. So we know that labor is exploited uniquely in ways that pertain to other national states under the NYU banner.
Back in several months ago, Mills served as NYU's Vice Chancellor and Senior Vice Provost for Global Programs and University Life. She was the major propeller of NYU's expansion into other countries.
Most people at the time, if you'd said, do you want NYU to open a campus in Abu Dhabi? They would say, no. Some of us were aware of the labor abuses that are part of the kafala system of labor migration, labor sponsorship in the Gulf states. And we pushed the NYU administration to adopt labor standards that were higher than anywhere else in the Gulf at the time. And they eventually agreed to do so. They did not, however, agree to appoint an independent monitor, which is the key to these conditions. Predictably, the worst happened. They fell down on the job. The monitor who was appointed didn't do their job, and a lot of workers were subject to abuse and lost wages and deportation for industrial action, and that's unfortunate. We predicted that this would happen, and we told the administration this would happen, but they generally don't listen very hard. Or their hands are tied because they entered into an agreement with the authorities in Abu Dhabi, which basically reduced their power, reduced their authority to do things properly.
Is Linda Mills that bad? You must want to ask me. Actually, maybe she's
career
not.
Advancing accelerated degrees for 2,000 working learners. And in a major stride for equity, I'm thrilled to announce that beginning in fall 2024, NYU New York undergraduates who begin as full-time first-year students and whose households make less than $100,000 a year will not have to pay tuition.
This is wonderful, and it sure will benefit a lot of students from low-income households. However, this is far from enough, because structurally, NYU stays the same exploitative machine of global capitalism. It bases the growth of its profit on exploitation in and out of the US. How could a machine that endlessly generates poverty and misery enhance the lives of impoverished households with a simple waiver on tuition? There is no such way. Nevertheless, the Linda G. Mills we are trying to portray here is her as the president of NYU. We haven't and will not mention her as a film director, a daughter, or a mother. Let us be clear, who we're portraying here is the 17th president of NYU, and whoever they are doesn't matter. For that, they only cut a check for a board of trustees that is far more important and powerful than them. They are just a medium through which global capitalism executes its will in the sphere of academia and elements of a greater totality.
What is past is prologue. The momentum of our past propels us forward.
My comrade, as you may already noticed, academic life is essentially economic and political. Undoubtedly, this documentary is a call for action.
残念だけどこのドキュメンタリーは簡単な解決策を提供られません。
But we believe that through open conversation, collective decision, and transparent process, we could figure out and build an academia that is far more egalitarian, open, and inclusive.
このドキュメンタリーはまだ不完全です。反動な NYU 管理者たちやグローバル資本主義などとの戦いもまだ不完全です。
Would you join this fight, or rather be left alone? That is a decision for you to make.